Welcome to Sports Trebuchet. I'm Marty.
Josh.
And Nasta.
And we are missing Kyle, which we'll talk about here in a second.
No great loss.
Not a great loss. It's probably going to be an improvement. I think everybody will agree. Follow us at Sports Trebuchet on Twitter. Email us, sportstrebuchetpod@gmail. Visit us, sportstrebuchet.com. And give us some of your ideas, questions. Everything makes the show at this point. We don't have much of a filter because there's two people, maybe, which is we're extremely thankful for all of you guys. So today's show is almost entirely going to be focused on NFL free agency and trade in the offseason. But Josh just got back from a trip. Josh, where did you go?
Iceland.
Wait, what did you almost say?
I was going to say Reykjavik, but I thought Reykjavik.
That's the capital, right?
That is the capital.
See? We would have got Marty, you would have got that wrong.
I would have had that wrong. I got most things wrong. Best vacation you've ever had?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think it's because of how pretty it is? Or because generally the people were nicer there than anywhere else? I remember you mentioning how nice they were.
Both of those things. And probably, it's the most extensive holiday I've ever had as an adult.
In terms of length?
Yeah. In terms of stuff done.
Yeah.
So, I went on a couple of, holidays when I was in college and stuff like that, but they really weren't, cultural experiences. They were just drinking lots and not doing much else.
You sent me some pretty sweet pictures of, being in a fucking volcano, which was cool as hell.
Yeah.
Active or not, we can only wish. But what was the best thing in Iceland that you did? Was it eat horse?
No, I didn't eat horse. Blue Lagoon was good, but I wouldn't have it up there as one of my favorites. It smelled because it's sulfur.
I heard it smells, yeah.
It's all geothermal water over there, so it
just smells like rotten, eggs?
like rotten eggs.
Like a good morning fart.
Yeah. Every hot water source in Iceland smells of sulfur.
That's
to a different extent, but Icelandic people just think that hot water smells out of that.
So when that geyser went off, was there something
it stank. It stank, bro. And you could have it go up, the geyser would go off, and the cloud, the steam cloud of the pure heat would blow one way, and you were able to walk that way too, and you would see people walk through it and just get blasted, and it'd be
just
vile.
just throw it up.
Oh man.
So
it was funny though. It was funny.
Beauty's only skin deep with Iceland, it appears, because everything underneath it smells like rotten eggs.
Yeah, that sulfur was impressive. It smelled badly.
So if Blue Lagoon wasn't it, what was your top?
Probably all the waterfalls. There was a lot of different waterfalls, but I did one in particular, and I can't even begin to pronounce it. It was Seljalandsfoss or something like that.
Nice.
And a lot of Iceland is too new to tourism to have a lot of. It is that one there. Third one in.
Third one right there.
Seljalandsfoss.
Here, you know what? Let's do this. Nasta, please pronounce this.
I don't even.
I've been there.
I don't even want to attempt it. I really do not.
Nasta, please try. This game isn't fun if you don't try. I'll try one if you try one. I get this one, you get this one.
No, give me the easy one. There's three.
Alright, try this one.
Alright, let me try that one.
Can you read that?
I can't get to open that up, man. I'm 43 years old and I'm blind.
It's the easy one.
Was it Gilmore?
Glimmer. Glymur.
Glimmer.
I would think.
Maybe.
Would be easy.
Yeah.
Glimmer?
Like the wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
That's Shimmer.
Shimmer?
I think I picked Aldejarfoss.
Aldejarfoss. Yeah, maybe. So foss in Icelandic is water, I think, or fall.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of fosses around.
Vexed. This one.
Are you looking it up? Yeah, foss has got to be water.
Foss is just waterfall, and normally the part in the beginning is usually either where it's from or a different thing. So I think Gullfoss,
maybe the town.
No, I think Gull is gold, maybe, and I think it was the golden waterfall.
I do have a question about Iceland, and I know we have a couple male listeners on this podcast, and I know we're all happily married.
I think almost exclusively.
Yeah, and I know we're all happily married, and I'm sure you didn't look, but I was around a year ago or so. I was reading something in the paper stating that the men are leaving Iceland, so there's like the majority of woman to man is like a 10 to 1
I did not
ratio.
expect that to be the question you asked.
Even I.
And I heard the women there are very pretty. Now, I know you didn't look, but did you notice at least there was a lot more females than males there?
I didn't notice the gender disparity, no.
Okay.
But that's probably because there's so many tourists too.
Okay.
So,
And it's also 32 degrees, so it's not like they're just walking around.
But I saw something in the news like a year ago that the prime minister, I guess it's a prime minister, right?
is it? I don't know. You tell me.
I think they were saying that they want to bring in more men, but
Are you signing up for that?
No, I'm married, and I can't deal with the cold. I don't like to be shriveled.
Hopefully the disparity would prevent that.
You couldn't go to the Blue Lagoon then because you have to shower naked first.
Ah, shit, no. I don't
You have
want
to shower before you get in?
Yes, you have to shower with conditioner and shampoo and body wash and everything before you're allowed in.
Do they have an honor system for it, or are they just like are they trusting when you say yes, I've washed and conditioned my hair?
No, they have they have guards guarding the beginning and the end of the shower. Yes.
Okay, so you're showering on site.
Yes, yeah. So it's super I didn't enjoy the Blue Lagoon a huge amount because we did so much other stuff.
Yeah.
But the Blue Lagoon was for such a massive attraction, it was super smooth. So we got in, we went through this massive queue, checked in, got this wristband which was really cool. It had a chip in it, and you could just they attach your credit card to the wristband. So if you wanted to drink while you were in there and all that shit, they just scan your wristband and it just got added to the bill.
It's like Firefest.
Yes, except not.
But you didn't get ripped off.
Death and stuff. Yeah.
So you're bringing your own bathing suit, though, right?
Yeah.
So how do they know that your bathing suit hasn't just been are you taking a naked shower and then putting on a clean, presumably clean bathing suit?
Yes.
So what's to prevent you from just pissing all over your bathing suit before you go?
Nothing.
That's the honor system.
That's the honor system.
Did you pee in the Blue Lagoon?
You got pockets full of oxy. Full of OxyClean.
Yeah, you can.
Good, because I would piss in all of
I
that.
suggested Josh pee in the lagoon, and he said no. And now that I know that it smells like a rotten egg, why wouldn't you?
I'll be there.
But the fact that there's guards makes me think that there would put something in the water to show your piss.
Yeah, so you would get in. They checked you in. They sent us through to the next bit, and you broke off girls and boys into different bathrooms, and they gave you a towel. These guards gave you a towel.
Not very progressive, are they?
And no, they did have one as well where you could joint shower if you wanted to, but I don't think anyone really used it, other than parents and stuff with their kids. So you went in. They gave you a towel. You had to strip down, go into the shower, come back out, get the bathing suit on.
That is wild.
Go down, and then you go out of there and down.
So they're providing the shampoo and conditioner then, too.
Yeah, everything's there.
It's like a delousing before the
essentially. It did feel like I was coming off of Mars or something, getting blasted with anti-infectant.
So you flew from here to
Boston.
And then you switched and you flew. What airlines did you fly from Boston to Iceland? I love airplanes. That's why I asked.
Iceland Air.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it a 777, a 777? Was it
767?
Oh, you drove. Okay, flew the 767.
It was like a.
You couldn't spring for the 777.
Oh,
it was like a 232.
Oh yeah, I bet you.
It was like a standard transatlantic.
And how far is that flight from Boston Logan to?
5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad. So total,
it's really a lot less than I would have guessed.
Yeah.
I would have guessed that ship was going to be 12.
You can get to England in 7.
So
Boston.
5 to.
It's literally they go up and
they go up and down.
Yeah, to get to the UK, you literally go over Iceland.
Yeah.
With the curvature of the Earth and the way they take you. Sorry, flat earthers. It takes you through, and it just takes.
I was going to say, God, I know I fucking did bad on that geography quiz, but I'm just why would you go over Iceland? It doesn't seem right.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I watch a lot of YouTube videos of I follow YouTubers that actually go on airplanes,
PewDiePie,
and they do the fly business class and stuff like that. And I just recently, if they were going to Dubai, let's just say, I personally thought you're going fucking straight. Like, east,
Right, yeah.
east to Dubai.
As the crow flies.
I was actually watching, it was like 30 minutes, and they show, like, they're on the screen of the video, because they're on, like, you know, they're in the business class at the TVs, and they're showing the map, and the plane's, like, going over
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Antarctica to Dubai. I'm like, I had no idea that they actually flew over. I always thought they just flew like just straight around.
Well, I always
you know?
pictured it like you see in the movies, right? Where like it shows all this travel, like a virus spreading and contagion or something, right?
Right.
It's just direct lines. It's like or the what is that game? The
Plague.
Android Plague Inc.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, they're just flying directly. I'm like, okay, that's how things work. That makes sense.
I mean, it does make sense. Like when
It
I
does.
first
I didn't
got
know
on
they
a
flew
plane,
over.
like when I first got on a plane to come over here, like my first time, because other than that, I've not really been that far. Like Egypt was the furthest I've been, and like that was pretty much a straight line. So like going over to here, I was like, where the fuck are we going? Like, what is happening
Shit,
here?
where's all
Like,
the
what-
snow?
like, I
Where's
was-
the ocean?
I think the pilot's fucking hammered. What is the?
But the cool thing about it is that tourism only really spiked in like 2010 after the volcano eruption with the ash cloud and shit like
Yeah.
that. So that's really what kicked it off.
Planes
And
couldn't even fly in that area.
nothing.
There. Yeah.
No, like it ruined all of Europe's flights because the ash cloud went down into Europe. It trashed
Yeah.
everything. Like it was huge money trashing. But what happened was like because it's still so new, a lot of these waterfalls are left really untouched. So there's not really as much safety in there as you would expect there to be in a lot
Or
of
you
other
maybe
places.
like even like.
Well,
I
if you
wanna
had a
go to-
kid, yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a kid, don't take them until they're 15 and know what it's like to not want to die.
Right.
Like, because you take a toddler and there's so many ways they can be killed. Like, you can go on a trip and they can fall down 6 different mountains, fall in a crater, and be blasted by a geyser in one day. And there's nothing to stop them.
How was
kind of a bucket.
How's
like
the water? I mean, not the water. The food. Like, how's the food? I mean,
Food's good.
Could you get? What's their delicacy there? Like, what's this?
Their delicacy that I didn't eat, they have sheep's head that you can eat, but I wouldn't ever
Do you eat
touch that.
puffin?
No, puffin is not in season, so puffin is only
What the
during
hell's
the
what's
summer.
puffin?
Puffin, like the bird.
Really? You can. Oh,
You can
it's the
eat-
bird that. Yeah,
The one that
puffs
looks
up.
like
No, this
yeah,
this little
that-
fella.
like the midget toucan.
Dude, why do you want to eat that thing?
They are all over Iceland in the
I
summer.
don't know. Why do you want to
too,
eat
the
anything?
puffin.
Oh, so they're everywhere. It's just not season to hunt them.
In the summer. So in the summer they migrate or they come up there, whatever it is. Like, I don't know where they live outside of the summer.
Madagascar.
But they come up in the summer and they're everywhere. And a lot of the places we were going, like normally it's just like shit full of puffins.
What's their beer? I know you like drinking some nice
Their
English
beer was
ale. So
pretty
what kind
good.
of they have? They have the local beer.
They had one called Ball, I think, which was like basically just Bull, and it was really nice. It was just like decent lager.
Yeah.
They had
Served
one-
over ice, or
No.
Could you still
They have
get?
one
Could you
called-
still get like American food there too? If you want like a
Yeah.
burger and
Yeah, Reykjavik
ooh,
had
what
a.
was the American? Ooh, that's a good
Pizza?
Right, I didn't go into like an American diner. I wanted to just to see how they would like shit on it, but there was too many nice places to go. But they did have. I walked past in Reykjavik a Big Lebowski bar, a American diner that just looked like the 50s diners as I
Yeah.
walked by, and a Chuck Norris bar.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
No
I didn't go
way.
into any of them because I wanted to go to like different shit. But yeah, they had a Chuck Norris bar there. Which
Well, he
is
must be a
great.
freaking idol out
Do
there.
you think
huh?
it's even licensed though? That's what I'm wondering. Cause
I mean, I don't. It looked it. It
It-
really did look it.
is Iceland the weird Japan knockoff of
Stefan
Europe?
Marbury?
Like,
I don't know. It looked legit though. They looked like they'd done a lot of stuff for it, but it was good.
I'm glad you had a good time.
And yes, the women there are very attractive.
Right.
If you like blondes, more
Blondes
so.
and blue eyes.
Yes,
Nice.
and they are all tall as shit. Too.
Really?
Yeah, and that's just men and women. Like their
Yeah.
average height's got to be like 6'1".
So when you're like 5'7", they know you're a Taurus.
Yeah.
So like Kyle gets mistaken
Oh.
for a child there like constantly.
I mean, yeah, he'll go up to the guys and they'll have people holding him back, like, "Hey, come on, not now,
Yeah.
not now."
You can't get it. The showers
Kyle,
only for this
dude,
time.
Kyle goes to Iceland, they'll definitely think he's a midget.
Gotta be, which is the
Gotta,
politically
100%.
correct term.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, Munchkin?
Here, I'm gonna give you one more shot, but I'm afraid that
Little people.
little people.
Better? Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe. Munchkin.
If you're either of those things, please tweet us at Sports Trebuchet and we can do a correction in the next episode. Did you want to touch on that other story, or do you want to save that for another time?
No, we can talk about it real quick.
Okay.
So, I stayed in about 8 different places in Iceland because we did like 250 miles of driving down the south coast,
nice.
right? It's really cool. Everything was great. We stayed in like 8 different spots and they were all perfect. Like every single one of them was decent. But we were talking about like horror stays earlier with Marty, and I was saying I had a really good one from Budapest, and I think I told you about it already, Nasta, when I went. So I went to Budapest in October 2017 when I went to England.
That's right.
And,
I remember we were working together.
Yeah. So what happened was we booked the flights, got everything good, and I was going with my mum, her partner, my sister, and her partner. Right. So like her boyfriend, his like.
This is like 5 boyfriends ago for your sister, though, right?
Yes.
Did she listen?
No. I'll get it to though.
Yeah.
So we went to Budapest and we were staying in my mum had booked one. It was like on Booking.com, but it was like Airbnb. It was an Airbnb. Looked beautiful, right? And it was to house all 6 of us, and we were just going to go around Budapest, right? So we get an email. We get a phone call the minute we land, and they said, "Oh, the water's out at that one. We have an even better apartment for you," right? So everyone's like, "Cool."
No price change.
No price change. It's even closer to all the attractions. You'll love it. Well, I don't know. I was a bit concerned about it, and my sister was too, and everyone else was like, "Nah, we're good. Let's do it." And like me and I was just like, I don't know. This lad pulls up. Well, he looks like he's straight out of the Slavic mafia. Like he looks like he's going to traffic us, not take us to the next place. Like he is dodgy as
like
shit.
He's the one that cut the water to set this whole thing up.
Yes, and he's on the phone to the person from Booking.com the whole time, like the renter, whatever. The what would you even call it? Host. The host of the place?
I don't know. That's a good
the
one.
heir to the B&B?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
HEIR?
So he's on the phone to this person, and we get there, and it's all caged when we get there. So the entire front of the building is covered in bars.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, that's not normal, because all the ones around it ain't. Right?
Like a liquor store in South Miami, just like...
Yes, like everything is really barred up, and we're like, that's weird. And he was like, oh, no, just the structure, like, just the structure. And me and Ash are like, fucking hell, we're gonna die. So he lets us in on this security gate, and we go up, and we get into this apartment, and it is tiny. It is really small.
For 6 people.
For 6 people, it was about the size, and I'm really not kidding, it's about the size of the men's bathroom in the place we work.
So it's 500 square feet.
No, you're talking about the men's bathroom on the 3rd floor.
3rd floor.
Okay, because that's
yes.
a little bigger than the others.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm being
but still
generous
small.
Too. Small for 6
people, but
to
yeah. Okay.
So we get in, and I'm
so
looking around.
it's the size of a trailer park, roughly, because that's about the same size as
that's a
the
single
bathroom.
wide.
I'd say it's a single wide.
Yeah. So we're getting, and Ash is like, no, this ain't gonna work. This is too small. This is ridiculous. And my mum was starting to get the same way at this point. She's like, no, this
Was
ain't
it running
gonna work
water
out.
at least?
We didn't even get to that point. So I get in, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna work. Like, there's not even enough beds for us to sleep in. And the lady who was the host of the air, it came around. She was like, no, it'll work. And we're like, no, you're not understanding us. It's not gonna work. Like, none of this is gonna work. Like, how are we gonna sleep? We have to sleep on the floor.
And this
all
lady
sort of
owns both places, just
yes.
to make sure. Okay.
Yes. So I'm looking around, and I go into the bedroom, and it's just one bedroom, single bedroom. And before that, they had curtains and drapes everywhere, right? And I'm not really paying much attention to it. And I go into the bedroom, and I sit on the bed just to see if the bed's comfy at least. Get on there, hear a big crack, think I broke the bed. Come back out, and I look to my left, and there is so a bedroom has 4 walls, right?
I'm scared.
And of those 4 walls, one of those walls was a sheer window. There was no wall. It was just a clear glass window.
Yeah.
And it backed out onto the living room. And the sofa faced the window. So this was a voyeur's, like, sex dungeon shit.
Yeah.
So we come in, and I come back out, and I come around, and I notice all the curtains around it. So I just whip open the curtains, and I'm like, what's this? And the lad that's with us at the time was like, fuck no. And it's like walking out. Like, and the lady's like, oh, no, it's nothing. It's just decoration. And we're like, no, this is a massive see-through window into the double bedroom.
Right.
Like, are you, like, groupies? Like, what are you, like, swingers? Like, what are you doing? And she was like, it's fine, stay. And she was like, I'm going to call my husband, and he's going to bring some friends around.
Yeah, shocker.
And we'll take you to a different place. all the while we're in there, and I'm like, nah, absolutely not.
Shit, yeah.
So my sister gets on the phone to a different place. She's found a different place, like further down, and they're in an apartment. And they're like, yeah, we can take you right now. You can come check in. And we're on our way out. She's trying to block us on our way out.
The lady that you made the deal with for the place.
Yeah, saying we're being rude, saying we're being disrespectful. And she's just like, I don't know if it was me or my sister or someone just turned around and she goes, "You've just took us to the red fucking light district. You're telling me about disrespect." And we walk out and we get out eventually, and then we get down all the way to the bottom and go to the gate, and they've locked the security gate.
Fuck
And we were just trapped in there. And they were saying that they were coming to like sort us out and get things sorted out for us. We can fix it. And luckily, a dude who lived there came in to the gate, so we just fucking bounced and ran.
Damn.
But like they were nuts, and it was a full-on like there is nothing else that was being used for. They were going there to be swingers and to like watch each other bang, and it was so dodgy.
That's incredibly. I never realized that was the context of when you made out with your sister and your mom in the same night.
Yeah,
that's wild.
That was fucking wild. I'll tell you,
dude. Jesus
because
Christ,
when you talk about it, it doesn't sound too much.
Was it a one-way? Was it a one-way glass or two-way?
Oh no, two-way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So at least if you wanted to get cut.
Well, that happened.
I can't even justify it.
That happened to me back.
You got cut?
Well, no. I was years ago. I went to Miami, and I went to a club in Miami. It was
the
like
Budapest of America.
It was like EDM club, so everybody's like,
oh man,
you know what they're doing at those kind of clubs. So
remember the name of the club?
I forgot. It was so. It was like a good 15, 20 years ago. So I go to the bathroom, and of course there's all urinal stalls, and in front where you're standing and staring, it's a mirror, right? It looks like a mirror, like you're staring at yourself. So I'm freaking taking a leak, and I'm looking, I'm like, and I see something like a shadow on the other side, and I'm like,
fucking
dude, am I hallucinating right now? I don't even know. I'm just drunk. I wasn't doing anything, right? And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm looking. It is the mirror of the girls' bathroom, and it's their mirror. They put on lipstick and check themselves in the mirror.
But it's back to back?
Back to back, so you can see. It's like you can still see through this mirror. It's like, it's not a true... What kind of mirrors are those?
Yeah, it's not completely translucent.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm like, and of course a couple of guys are noticing too, like, oh shit, look, we're like waving and shit. I'm like, they can only see like, your chest up, and they're not showing down below, but I'm like, that was pretty crazy. I'm taking the lead.
See you? Or
yeah, we can see each other.
You can see like shadow.
You can see shadow, but you can, if you stare, you can actually see the girl
make it out,
put on lipstick or like,
Any chance that place is still open?
I don't know.
No, they're mirrors.
Dude, that was pretty neat. Actually, that was pretty neat.
That's wild. I don't have a good travel.
Not as cool as
I don't know if it's cool.
Yeah, Miami is Miami.
At one point, I did legitimately think I might die in that.
Getting locked into security is the beginning of a horror.
Dude, I would have shit my pants.
So the rest of the show, we're going to talk about kind of this batshit NFL offseason, free agency and trades and the like. But we had 2 Twitter questions. One I'm not going to touch on until it makes more sense, kind of. But the other one was from @JCranville that says, how much, speaking of free agency, how much does geography, or specifically extensive 30-minute geographic quizzes, play a role in a free agent's decision on where to play?
I don't understand the question, and I won't respond to it.
And Josh, I know he's taking a shot directly at you.
Well, he's taking a shot at the quiz.
I don't know who made that quiz. Who made that quiz?
Geography. The world.
The world.
National
tectonic plates.
National Geographic.
So, what I'd like to do is officially invite Jay on to this podcast at some point, and him take a geographic quiz just to see.
Just a 5. Just a 5 question.
5 questions is a good one, actually.
Well, I think what Jay was trying to get at is that it does play a role, because if I was a free agent And, and I have a couple teams bidding for me geographically in the United States.
You're taking a quiz to see first.
I want to take a quiz and see actually who or what state has no state tax.
Ooh, that's a good point.
So I can actually get the most money out of my contract.
NASA saved what was
So
going
do
to
you
be...
know what, Jay?
You know what, Jay? Great question.
I'm going
Thank
to...
Joke's on you, Jay. That was a good question.
I'm
You
going,
just took your shit and spun it into gold.
Jay, I'm going to Nevada.
With no team.
You know what this would be?
Oh, I play hockey. I'm playing hockey.
That's going to be really interesting, though, when the Raiders move over.
Yeah, that's all
It's
state
gonna change
tax,
all of it. All right, so enough of the Twitter questions. We'll get to Tell Stevens.
to the other one.
We're gonna. It's from Ed. So Ed J. Cranfield was that question. Ed Tell Stevens asked another one, but it's kind of a specific team one. So we'll kind of cover it.
Cool.
If you want. So I've got on our screen. By the way, I didn't know this site even fucking existed, and it's called Spotrac, SPOTRAC, or Spotrac. I don't know why they.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's called.
But it's the most complete free agency and trade tracker I've seen.
That looks
it's
intense,
dude.
yeah.
It's insane. It's all very easy to sort through. It works really good, and even though they're not an advertiser, I'd like y'all to take a listen to something right now.
Hi, my name's Joshua Tracy.
And I'm Corwin Heller.
And we are the hosts of a statistics and sports podcast called Juicing the Numbers.
We cover the NFL, college football, MLB, and the NHL with anything that we like to talk about in between.
If you like sports and the numbers behind it, come check out our show, Juicing the Numbers, on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you find podcasts. Hit us up on Twitter at JuicingPod.
And we're back. We threw it to an advertisement. Not really an advertisement. It's more of a shared relationship between us and the guys you just heard. Juicing the Pod. It is, I'm sorry, it's Juicing the Numbers. God, I already fucked it up. Juicing the Numbers Pod, at Juicing Pod. They're really cool. Check them out. They're going to do the same for us because we're basically brothers now.
But they get into all of this statistics and numbers shit.
For sure. And honestly, that's kind of why I thought about throwing it to that little 30-second commercial we just ran, simply because this seems right up their window. Anyways, so NASA went to go pee, which will allow us to actually maybe get something done here. Andy's back. Sorry. No, it's okay. We hadn't started. We went ahead and threw to that commercial, so we're good.
Oh, you did?
Yep, and we're leaving all the talking about it in there too because I don't want to edit other than throw their thing in there. All right.
Oh, this is pretty cool.
Do we want to lead off with the big quote-unquote blockbuster trade?
Now, is this where the sign is? Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Let's talk some trades, right?
All right, so there's a couple here, like that Joe Flacco thing we knew was going to happen. No big deal. The only two I want to talk about...
what does that mean for the Broncos, though, right? I think it does mean something. I think it's still something worth talking about. Is he going to be that much of an improvement on Case Keenum?
There's no way.
I don't think
now
he is
Keenum's
either.
officially gone, too, so...
Is Keenum retired?
No, he signed a 1 year. No,
I think he got traded to the Redskins.
Oh, did he?
See, I don't know why.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he got traded. So they
Yeah.
they gave up a fourth for Flacco. So they moved 2 rounds back basically to upgrade their quarterback.
How about we do this? Let's start from. Scroll down. We'll start. We'll not have to go do all of this.
That's okay. Yeah. Let me any of them that have players. Let's just these are from last year. I'll just do some quick ones. Denver trades Case Keenum away to the Redskins for a 6th-round pick in 2020. Arizona.
We don't talk about it.
No. I'm gonna talk through them first, and we can pick and choose.
Sorry.
Because honestly, I don't think there's anything to add other than it's sad that Washington even has to trade for him because of Alex.
Because of how
They are. You know what?
Yeah.
Washington, I think, is picking up like $15 million. I'm sorry, Denver's still picking up $15 million
of Flacco's money.
Yeah, something like that.
That's because, and there's another part. If we want to talk about the Flacco thing, that we can talk about too because it's dumb. Marcus Gilbert acquired from Arizona from Pittsburgh.
I
Good.
don't really know who Marcus Gilbert is.
He's a right tackle apparently.
So, glamour signing then.
Yeah. Well, the Cardinals need offensive linemen like big time.
Well, yeah,
So it
they
makes
do
sense.
because Rosen's dying.
Yeah, and whoever gets drafted after him is also going to die.
Right.
So Patriots got Michael Bennett. Of course they did. He'll probably be an All-Pro next year because that's what they do.
Michael Bennett's a loser.
Pittsburgh trades away Antonio Brown
For
to the Oakland Raiders for a 3rd and 5th round pick.
Yep.
There was a tweet shortly after this that someone tried this trade in Madden and it wouldn't accept it because the Raiders weren't giving up enough. And Pittsburgh obviously wanted him out.
I think that's a big part of it. He wanted out. They wanted gone. But I think they could have.
So they settled. They could have. I mean, if nothing else, Odell Beckham Jr. is a good example because he's a better receiver than Odell Beckham Jr.
He's a lot older than Odell Beckham, though, right?
Yes, he
How
is.
much older is he?
I think Antonio Brown's 30 years old and Odell's like 26.
But Antonio Brown is not injury prone.
Antonio Brown's 30. Yeah, well, there's the other part, right? So how many miles does ODB have left on him? 26 and 30. Fucking nailed it. Did you just call that?
Yeah.
That was good, Josh.
So, yeah, the worst part about it is that it's the Raiders, only because what clearly looked like this time last year was going to be the beginning of a rebuild. It feels like they're jumping the gun too early for me.
Hugely. This is like if the Bears had brought in Mac 2 years ago, when we clearly weren't ready to compete.
Yeah, when you were still a ship kind of floating away and they went in a direction.
It seems a bizarre signing to me too.
Especially when you don't. I mean, I guess. And you're giving up the 3rd and 5th. I don't know. It feels weird. You're still going to have. I think Oakland still has like 3. It's either 3 or 4 of like the top 100 and
they have a lot of
top
picks.
65 or some shit. Like, it's a ton of picks still.
They got 3 picks.
But Antonio Brown with Oakland is, I think, in a lot of ways, a match made in heaven. It just sucks that it's not the Raiders from 2 years from now, if they're actually close to it.
And 32-year-old Antonio Brown ain't going to be the same player 30-year-old Antonio Brown.
Right.
So
well, and
it is going to suck.
Well, and I think it's just like, it's not unsimilar to another signing that happened right before we started recording this. And I'm going to state the same thing. Golden Tate went to the Giants.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, and Antonio Brown to the Raiders, and it's both like, cool, you've both added good players, but this is not the time to do it if you're actually trying to rebuild.
Do you not think the Tate move, and we're way ahead of the calendar, but do you not think the Tate move was a half-hearted attempt to try and show Saquon that they're still going to try and do something
I think so,
offensively?
but you're also signing a guy that's a slot receiver, and your other good receiver that's left on that team is a slot receiver. So, like...
Who's Shepard?
Yeah. So you have now Shepard and... Anyways, yeah, we're skipping ahead. We'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeah. But I think it was a strange move for Oakland to make, and I think that Pittsburgh probably should have held out a little bit longer and got a better deal from someone else.
Well, and you know what's kind of crazy? Look, so Oakland gives up a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick this year. They move up one spot in the 5th round to trade away a guy they didn't want.
Yep.
So they literally got a 3rd round pick for Antonio Brown, which is still crazy to me because Amari
did it the
Cooper
same
got
day.
Yeah, because Amari Cooper got for a 1st, and if it wasn't in the middle of the season, it probably is less than that, but it still seems
they overpaid
wild
for him. But again, age does play a factor into it.
Eagles get Deshaun Jackson back, which is just weird to see someone spend a second time at any team. Kansas
I think he'll
City,
do well though.
Oh, I think so too. Just because he is the best deep receiver in the league still.
He does the business everywhere he goes too.
Yeah,
He never lets anything.
If you can
down.
throw it hard enough, he can catch it.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah, I like Deshaun Jackson. He's not too shabby.
He's kind of a dipshit, I think, of a human being, but like as far as his deep threat ability, he's always been that.
Yeah, he's outrageous.
So, knowing only really one 49ers fan that I talked to, and that being Jack, he wanted defensive line help. So it was, I think, assumed that the Niners were going to end up going with Bosa, more than likely.
Yep.
Instead, they trade for D Ford.
Can they not do both?
They can do both, but D Ford is like, I think, a top 10 defensive lineman. So if you need help other places, I guess you could.
But if they're thinking Bosa is going to be like a generational beast.
D Ford, is he a defensive tackle?
No, he's an edge. So he's
an edge rusher
/ outside linebacker, but edge.
So, and Bosa
is an edge.
Is an edge as well, yeah.
Why not? You get two edges. You're not going to. What side are you going to double team? You can't.
Well, I'm trying to
because that's what Mac's done to us. Like we've now bolstered ourselves to a point where like people don't know how to handle the
Yeah,
defense,
and I guess
that could be the way the Niners are playing it.
That's what the Texans did too, right? With J.J. Watt
And then Clowney, yeah.
Yeah, and Clowney. And then before that, it was J.J. Watt, and I think Mario Williams was still there.
Well, Cushions. What was Cushions? Cushions
was the linebacker.
Yeah, that's right.
The fucking juice, the guy that did
the
steroids.
juicer.
Joe Flacco to Denver from Baltimore.
Weird move, doesn't really achieve much.
Except it does, because here's what John Elway said about it yesterday. I heard an interview with him.
Okay.
And he said, the Broncos believe that Joe Flacco is entering the prime of his career. Laughable. This is what he said. And then when he was giving some of the reasons, he's still got good arm strength. And he said he plays under center. And then he started kind of rambling about the shotgun formation and how you've got to evaluate talent differently with college playing the shotgun and doing all this other stuff. And Flacco's proven under center as a quarterback, which is weird because he, for the last 3 years, has like the third highest percentage of shotgun snaps of any other quarterback. So like it's irrelevant if he can, because he doesn't. But also, who the fuck cares? John Elway is so fucking stuck in his ways.
I was gonna say, like, he doesn't seem like he's not making much sense.
When the Chiefs were fucking drubbing the Broncos, guess what they were doing it out of? Mostly shotgun.
Oh.
Like, period. And the Rams weren't, right? The Rams were really cool because they actually had an under center, one back type system. But when they went to shotgun, is also when they got some really cool shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Well, I look at it like this with Elway. We all know now what Elway's trademark, since he's been
The tall quarterbacks.
well, that's
And
Peyton Manning, right? So he doesn't draft quarterbacks. So he got Peyton Manning. Yes, I'm not saying Peyton Manning. I'm not saying Joe Flacco's on the same level as Peyton Manning by any means, but Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl winner. Now you couldn't do it with a young kid named Keenan, which he was the.
Osweiler.
Oh yeah, especially Keenan.
He drafted Osweiler and Lynch, and they were both like Peyton Manning cutouts, but they were just that. They were just shells.
True, yeah. And the funny thing with Keenan, he had, if I recall, in Minnesota, he has a better record than Cousins.
Yeah, Keenum's not a bad quarterback, but Keenum's extremely specific to a style. Where like Mahomes, they've built his ability, the style around his ability.
Yeah.
Keenum is straight up a guy that could go to the Chiefs and do 60 to 80% of what Mahomes does. But if he's not in that system, it doesn't work. For Keenum.
Yeah, true.
I think. So,
And
and there's no way Denver's going to run that system.
And then real quick, before we move on, what did Denver just do? You sign a quarterback, but your number one center just signed with the Panthers.
Like the Broncos aren't even close to a win now
fuck the
team.
Broncos.
Like Flacco is more of a signing that I would expect a team that is close.
Not only that, but they lost they lost Matt Paradise to the Panthers. They lost Billy Turner, their offensive guard, to the Packers, and they just lost Matt Lacoste, the tight end, to New England, which I never heard.
He's crap from what I've seen.
Lacoste, like
Lacoste,
the one that made the shirts,
kind of, but with an S, 2 S's,
gotcha.
and no T. The biggest trade of
the 2019 finale.
Twitter was blowing up. It was really funny, mostly because I think Odell Beckham is largely thought of as still a top 3 receiver, and the Cleveland Browns offense was really fun last year, but was missing that because Jarvis Landry can't catch like half the passes that get thrown to his way. It was Odell Beckham Jr. I'm not even going to talk about the second part of this. Odell traded for a first, a third, and Jabril Peppers was the main pieces. Fucking crazy.
Fucking great signing for the Browns.
It's,
in my opinion.
I agree.
100%.
I think the fact that they got that much, a first and a third, and then on top of that, Jabril, is wild. But I have a feeling that the Browns didn't like Jabril Peppers, is the only reason they gave him in there.
Right.
Because the Giants literally had just let Landon Collins walk, who's a box-to-box safety, and they trade and got Jabril Peppers, who's a box-to-box safety, and it
Didn't
works.
Collins go to the
Landon
Who
Collins
did he go to?
got
Did he go to the
signed
Redskins?
The Redskins.
Redskins for
That's
a
what
lot
I
of
feel
money.
like stupid amounts of money for what he's worth. Like they overpaid the shit out of
He's
him.
really good, but he's not a coverage safety. So like, for me, you don't pay for that guy unless he eliminates a part of the field.
Right.
What are you pointing at, Nasty? We're on a podcast.
I was pointing at the screen. No, I will say this with this trade. 2 trades between the Giants and the Cleveland Browns. Let's not forget about the Oliver Vernon for Kevin Zell.
So was that a second trade?
That
Wasn't
trade
part of
actually
this?
no. That trade actually happened last week.
Okay.
And that was actually a good trade because Vernon is an outside defensive end, like a rusher, and Kevin is a really good offensive lineman. So pretty much a lot of the analysts were saying in the NFL world this was a good trade for both. The Giants needed an offensive player, like a tackle,
Yeah.
and then the Browns needed like an outside linebacker.
The concern I'd have is that I think I mentioned it in an earlier episode before, but how little Baker Mayfield got hit or sacked once he got in, and part of that was because his offensive line is playing so well. And between that trade, and I think they've lost another offensive lineman too to free agency, you wonder if they can still do what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because as we've seen in the AAF, offensive line play is just as critical to a quarterback's success as anything else.
I think they can though. I think they can simply because of the.
Probably because of the type of player Baker is. Despite me hating him, he's also a guy.
And I don't think they'd have made that trade if they couldn't have afforded it. Like, they obviously think that they can afford to do that, and Baker's also going to need that half a second
True.
less when he has people like Odell.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
a lot of people have to remember too the Oliver Vernon and Kevin Zella. I can't say Zitler. One Vernon is 15.5 mil. Kevin is 10. So you're talking about a 5.5 increase in salary towards the Browns payroll. But Odell Beckham, 17 million. But people are asking how could they afford all these players? Because you got Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
Think about it. 80% of the Browns are on rookie deals still.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
You know?
extremely
You have to
young.
think you got Mayfield for at least another 4 years on that rookie deal. You got Chubb on that rookie deal. You
Yep.
got that crazy ass defensive line outside linebacker. What's his name?
Quit hitting the table.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what is
What was his
Myles
name?
Garrett?
Yeah, Myles Garrett. I think he's still on a rookie deal.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's
You
coming
got
up-
all
he's
these
coming up
players
soon,
on a
but-
rookie deal, so you know when Myles Garrett and some of these players need those big money contracts, I guarantee Odell Beckham either will be cut or he'll be retraded again in 3
Well,
4 years.
they've moved their window up by 1 year, and this is, I think, the beginning of it for an actual Super Bowl window.
Yeah, they're going win now.
And
I say in 3 years they're in the Super Bowl or an AFC
if
championship.
they're not, they're in fucking huge shit because
Yeah.
because like you said,
Yeah.
the rookie deal part of it. That's a lot.
And real quick, I don't want to keep because we have other things to talk about. Look at the AFC North right now. Steelers shithole. They're just shitholes in general. That team, other than the Rapersburger, who else do you have?
Well,
They're getting rid of everybody.
He's the worst part of that team.
Yeah, he is the worst
Yeah, he
part.
is.
He's with,
So
he's
that
with
team
single-
is really done with. I'll be surprised they even win 10 games. The Bengals.
I mean, James Conner is a talented running
No,
back.
I'm not saying
Juju
nothing. I like-
Smith
I like-
is a
I like
good
James.
wide receiver.
Yeah.
I like Juju and them, but I think
But on the
just the
whole,
turmoil
their
in
team is
general.
They're going to end up being in blow up modes.
And their defense is
Yeah.
piss poor.
I don't think the Ravens lost a lot.
They lost a lot on defense. That's the number
On
one ranked
D.
defense, and they've just
They lost a lot,
crashed
and you have to
apart.
think, what are the Bengals? They ain't doing shit.
Bengals are
so
Bengals.
right now, this is actually the Browns' division for the taking.
Yeah, it is. And I'd be
if-
shocked if they didn't walk it this year.
Short of some like really big signing or some rookie, a draft pick that just makes too much sense. If the Browns don't win the division, I feel like it's got to be a massive failure.
Got to be seen as a failure.
A huge failure.
At least this year.
Unless there's a major injury. But if everybody stays somewhat healthy,
I mean, even if you have one major injury, as long as it's not Baker, I suppose.
Baker's going to go down with an ACL.
But even if he does, with that kind of like weaponry around him, there's not many quarterbacks that should fail.
No, and he had a pretty good first year, so he's probably going to have the normal. It might keep that normal sophomore season that's supposed to be your worst,
right?
From sliding too much because you just basically revamped your offense. If Hunt's also available to go, or the NFL reinstates him.
And I also think the Giants made this move because you know what? They're saying, you know what, Odell, this is not your team. This is not Eli's team because Eli is going to be gone next year. This is Barkley's team. They're going to build that team around Saquon Barkley.
That's the thing, though, is...
Which he might only have 5 good years.
You're making that even less by making it so he's the only person. He's the only person on that offense.
He is.
That they just signed Golden Tate. That's going to help. He's like one of the best run-blocking receivers in the league. So that's also going to help. But shifting simply, we'll go straight to free agency with it. Since
let's go to free agency.
We're going to have Nasta have his own podcast. And it's just going to be called, well, I will say this. All right, that's transition.
You need to switch from trade to...
Yeah, I'm on the fucking wrong tab here. All right, so the Giants have Landon Collins that they let go. This is always confusing because it's got the to and from. The only people they brought in are Golden Tate, other than the trade with Jabril Peppers and then Zietler.
Go back to the other tab for a minute. You see where trade is the drop down?
Yes.
Click on that.
This is for full transactions.
I was just because it has signed free agents on there.
Hey.
If you go up and drop that tab down again, it says signed free agents. Nope.
Fucking A. Look at you, man.
So now you can just look at
See, he went to Iceland. Look, he came back.
Sweet. Okay.
So yes, they literally have signed 3 people.
Because that's 18, right? So they signed Antoine Bethea, who I didn't realize was
free
still
safety,
in the league, who should partner with, he'll probably be a backup, and then Peppers is going to be your starting strong safety.
And then you've signed, is that a long snapper?
That's a long snapper, Zach Diassi, and then Golden Tate. So part of me thinks that, like, they're obviously rebuilding. The Giants aren't your team, right? It's the Panthers, man.
Oh, yeah, Panthers, bro.
We're spending too much time on the goddamn Giants.
If you take it out of MYG, you're probably going to be able to see everyone's free agent signings now.
Yeah, but you can also do that. That's by time, right? Like, if I go here, I can also break down only signed.
Yeah.
Is that easier?
And then go to per team, if you want to.
All right, so it seems weird to sign Golden Tate. You're sticking with Eli. You're fucked. Saquon's going to be way overworked.
What number draft pick do they get?
The 4.
You don't think they'll trade up for a quarterback?
And they get 17. I'm sorry. You have 4 and 17, I think, right? The Browns were 17 this
so
year?
that makes you primed to trade up to 3 or 2 if you don't think a quarterback's going to be there. But at 4, it should be there.
I know what the Giants are going to do.
Those top 3 picks ain't going to be quarterbacks this year. I know nothing about the draft class this year, other than that Bosa is expected to go super high.
And Kyle Murray, which I don't think he's going to be that good.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's in the draft.
Kyler,
other lad as well.
Kyler and Dwayne Haskins are going to top 2 guys. And Haskins is the guy that I think the Giants fans.
The Giants want him,
but he's at the top, or at least 1B of a quarterback class at subpar, especially compared to next year is projecting to be one of the best quarterback classes maybe.
And Trevor Lawrence is not even in that class.
Right, Trevor Lawrence is 2 years from being drafted. So I think. I'm not even sure I would draft a quarterback.
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either.
I'd build everything else.
Yep.
Exactly.
Let the corpse of Eli do it, which makes the Golden Tate signing even more baffling to me.
I mean, it's the only thing they've done, though, right? It's the only thing they've done.
It's early.
I would have liked to have Kyle in this because I want to. All right, right now, if the Giants, which we all agree, I don't think they're going to go for a quarterback. I think they're going to just build around it, and then next year, they're going to get a top 10 pick because I don't see them winning more than 6 games this year.
Best.
Unless some miracle fucking happens. So, what is your your under, I apologize, on wins for the Giants next year?
Over or under?
I'm sorry, just under.
Just over or under, period.
Yeah.
5. They still play the Redskins twice. I think they probably finish with 5 wins.
I think they probably finish with 4.
I'm in the same ballpark. I say anywhere between 4 to 6.
Yeah, I think they probably still finish with 4.
And if 4 to 6 nowadays will get you a top 5 draft pick. And what quarterbacks are coming out next year?
We're not talking about it because we're talking about free agency.
Yeah, go ahead.
But Le'Veon Bell to the Jets.
That's a good one.
All right, so here's something that's nuts with this website too that I wanted to show you. This shows you team spending by every team.
Yeah.
The Jets have spent up to today, which is the 14th at 6:20 p.m. They spent $198.7 million.
Damn. Could we?
And that's total contract. Yes, we can. But I don't think we can by clicking.
No. Click on the. If you click on the 198, I guarantee you'll show.
We can do it this way too. So same thing. So they've added C.J. Mosley, banging signing, Le'Veon Bell. Fantastic signing.
Crowder. It's not bad.
Good signing. Depends if Darnold can complete the pass. Henry Anderson, great signing. Josh Bellamy.
Awful signing.
Awful signing.
Bad attitude.
Yeah.
Could barely even get on the pitch when he was when it was under Fox. He could barely get a game. He's a special teamer. He's just a dick.
It's wild that he's making that much money, but it's also wild to me that you pick up a receiver that's 30 who's average when there's so many average guys at 23 that you can
maybe grow.
Dude, this is I love this site because look at C.J. Mosley. The average salary per year 17, total guarantee he's getting 51. But look at Le'Veon Bell. His average per year is 13. 25 guarantee, and they gave him that 25 at the sign.
Yeah.
Meaning that when he signed his name, he's getting 25 mil in his bank. With Mosley, he's still going to get 51 million, but it might be spread out, but it's guaranteed.
I've read somewhere that Le'Veon's deal was actually worse than the one at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went all in on himself and lost, and the problem I don't think is Le'Veon. I think the problem is him considering that position to be as important as it is because it's obviously not.
Yeah.
And you have Le'Veon's really special. No one else. I don't think anybody else was even offering. I think he had 2 or 3 teams maybe.
The Bears are interested.
How old is he?
How old is he?
27.
He's 27.
Think about it. He didn't even play last year, so he's technically 26.
And he's still pretty fresh. Yeah, he's got 26-year-old legs.
It's
but
he's fresh.
The Bears are interested, but for that kind of money, they're not going to do it.
That kind of money, no running back deserves, unless even if you're Gurley or Zeke or just some fucking bonkers player. It can't be touched.
I mean, I think Bell is as good as Gurley and Zeke. Before he stopped playing.
Yeah, no,
he was absolutely incredible.
Who the fuck did the Packers? Did I miss some? Who did the Packers sign with their total salary is $182 million?
Yeah,
and what's his name is still not even under contract yet.
A whole bunch of them. Before we do that, I want to hit on the next Twitter question real quick, and I'm just going to touch. Don't apologize, NASA. I'm driving. You don't know where I'm turning. This is the summation of the podcast, really. It was so Blake Bortles got cut yesterday.
Yep.
Which is great because it allowed me to ask this question that Tell Stevens asked, and it's a Cowboys question. Should the Cowboys consider Tannehill or Bortles as a backup? If they're really pushing all the chips in for this season, do you want Cooper Rush as plan B for a quarterback, and he just takes a bunch of sacks and runs? It's so. Basically, should you upgrade your backups with either Tannehill or Bortles? And the answer is Tannehill, if you choose.
Is Tannehill not playing?
I think he's still signed to Miami.
Is he not going to be the number 1 man in Miami?
He ought to be, but Miami's reportedly talked to Teddy Bridgewater, I think, too.
Gotcha.
He signed Bridgewater.
Did he sign, or was he
Yeah,
still
with the
talking?
Saints.
Oh, shit.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Did he
He's
really?
playing back up to Breeze. Yeah, he is. He's sitting behind Breeze for a year,
So he interviewed with the Dolphins and it didn't go.
clearly.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I mean, if the Saints have had a conversation with him and convinced him he may be the one next, then he's always going to sign with the Saints.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Especially if you're that far in that system. Yeah, sure as shit. See, Bridgewater completes visit with Dolphins yesterday. No deal done. Man, the Dolphins suck. So I think Ryan Tannehill is the obvious choice between the two for two reasons. One, I think he's the better quarterback. I have three reasons. One, better quarterback. Two, he can throw an interception and not just be in a downward spiral the rest of the game if he was called upon. And then three, the obvious Texas A&M tie-in because his jerseys would sell like hotcakes, which would be good for him and the team.
Do you reckon that Bortles goes to another team? Because I think I know where he's going to go.
The Raiders just released their
That's my thing too. They've just released McCarron, and if anything, Bortles is a more reliable backup.
I think I would rather have Bortles than AJ McCarron. Hands down.
Absolutely. That's exactly my thought
God,
too.
it's going to be...
As soon as I saw him cut, I thought, fucking hell, Bortles is going to be a Raider.
Yeah, it makes too much sense and also no sense at all to have Carr and him.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you're hoping that you just tank and then you end up with something else. The Jets, I think it's tricky. The first day that a lot of this stuff was going down, someone pointed out, like, of all the 11 teams that were participating, none of them made the playoffs. So, like, desperation is obvious in free agency, but also the cap growing, and there's a lot of cap space available.
Yeah. I mean, the Bills have signed 10 players.
Yeah, which is insane. Let's go to the Bills next.
I still don't think they're going to do much.
No,
Their
I think...
entire running back core is almost 100 years old. It's like, legit.
Except that Frank Gore, I think, is still like a top.
Gore is their best running back.
Yeah, it's fucking insane because I don't think LaShawn McCoy's got anything left in the tank.
No, he's.
Cole Beasley's making.
I quite like McCoy, but he's
you know what?
down.
I have a feeling that what's his name? Todd Gurley don't have too much left in his tank.
Well, after his knee injury,
His knee,
right?
and
I don't know how bad that knee injury is, but I don't think it's looking good.
So you go 10 signings for Buffalo. They sign a center, a guard, a left tackle. They're signing John Brown and Cole Beasley. Seem like weird signing.
They're total middle of the road wide receiver signings.
To do that,
But both of those are their best wide receivers.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
the Andre Roberts that also brought in. It's weird because it's like you're setting up the quarterback for success, trying to build an offensive line.
Croft can
building
catch a pass to. Croft isn't a bad tight end.
I feel like if only Tyler Croft didn't have injury problems. It doesn't matter. It still feels weird, and I guess you'll probably see that in the draft if they're going to go for a big playmaker at receiver.
I think they've got it.
Yeah.
That will be their main man, and they'll have these as supporting cast.
Do an offensive weapon type thing because I think Frank Gore is probably brought in there, if anything, to produce a little bit, but to work with whoever they're going to try to bring in young at running back.
Yeah.
But also to work with what's his face, Josh Allen, because I think
Right.
there's
He's
a lot
gonna be
that
a
he
big
can
old head
teach.
and
Yeah, there's a ton that he can teach them specifically about coverages. Period.
100%.
And I think what if the Giants and the Raiders are doing things very oddly and out of sort, Buffalo's, I hate to say, doing it right.
By what it looks like, yes, 100%. Like, and if they draft right, they could be a decent team, not a good one.
It's going to be weird in
It's a
3 years when
decent
it's
one.
like the Bills and the
Versus the
Browns and
Browns
the
and-
AFC Championship.
Dude, that'd be too funny.
It'd be wild. You want to go over Chicago a little bit?
Yeah, we can go to Chicago.
Okay, let's touch Chicago. The Bears. And then we'll probably wrap up here in about 10 minutes just to keep things
Then make sure we go to
succinct.
the Panthers too.
We will. Panthers will be next.
There's not much to cover on the Bears. I can go really, really quick.
Okay.
So Larson was actually with us before he went to Miami. He was bang average for us, and then signed a big contract with Miami. They didn't keep him after his contract ran out, and we just signed him back.
Miami's a bad team. That's what bad teams do, is they pay average players big money.
Yeah, so we got him back. Happy about that. He's going to be good depth as and when Kyle Long gets hurt, because he always does every year. Mike Davis, signing from Seattle. He's a perfectly decent running back, especially for the money we paid him. None of it's guaranteed. It's just simple, easy signing. He's 5 times the running back that Mizell is as a third choice running back, which he's going to be. I have no doubt he's going to be a third choice.
Yeah.
And then Cordarrelle Patterson. I saw him more with the Vikings than I did with New England, but he's a good signing for the team we are. He wouldn't work in a lot of different places, but I think for Chicago and under Nagy, and just as like a kick return, punt return guy, playing in weird shit, he's just going to be another person that they have to worry about.
I think he was really average in Minnesota because he was kind of a one-trick pony, and then I think the way you're lending how weird Nagy's system is, which is what's making it so great. New England does a lot of those same things, where he was a running back but also a receiver, and you're doing he's a really good, he's a hybrid player. I wouldn't say really good. He's a hybrid player, and he's capable at all points.
Yep.
So at least you've got a little bit of depth at running back, a little bit of depth at receiver, and still a guy that can burn a lot of dudes deep.
Right.
Which, if Trubisky can get it there.
A lot of people were pissed off about the screen signing, Screen, whatever his name is, from the Jets. I thought it was pretty decent, to be honest.
Do you think part of that's because they let Amos go?
I think part of it is probably because Callahan is going to go, which is the, what do you call it? The nickel?
The nickelback?
Yeah.
Well, think about it.
And I think that with Pagano as the supposed defensive back whisperer, they're anticipating being able to get the best out of him. And his main problem at the Jets was penalties. Well, if you're playing in a team like this, I don't think it's going to be as bad. I think you're going to wipe out your penalties when you have that team. And then the signing we made today is our biggest one, and that was Clinton Dix. And I'm really happy with that signing.
Does that show on here? Yes, it does.
Yeah, we just signed him today. It's a 1-year deal, 3.5 million. I think that's a fucking signing and a half.
And that's
I like
and that's
Dix.
a one for one with the safeties, right? Amos out, Dixon.
Yep, same position, different kind of player in the way he's going to produce. But when we've kept everyone else on defense and slot him in, he's going to be at least as good as he was at the Packers, if not better. And he was an All-Pro at the Packers. I think he is going to be a really astute.
A really weird, wild Packers defense too. That wasn't nearly as talented as the Bears.
I think it's an incredibly astute signing. I'm well happy with that one.
Minus the extra kick, right? The field goal,
Oh God.
right? What really caused you guys to lose? Lack of offense, right? I think getting Patterson in there is going to help.
The thing that cost us actually in that Eagles game was 2 things. 2 really stupid penalties and missing that kick.
Yeah.
You know who committed both those penalties is Amos.
But also, I think if you had that one extra offensive weapon,
he was the guy who committed both penalties.
I think if you had that extra offensive weapon, I think a Patterson might actually will help.
And there's still the draft to find
Absolutely.
something like that too. And I think
we're so close to being almost perfect in terms of the stuff we're doing that the draft is just going to be great. We don't have a first round pick because we got rid of Mac. I don't even think we have a second round pick because we got rid of Mac. But after that, you can pick up. We picked up Eddie Jackson in the 4th round. I think. And he's one of the best safeties in the league.
Well, and I think the thing that hurt you guys, and it's the same thing that kept the Rams from winning the Super Bowl, was Nagy and McVay both lacked the ability to make those second, third, or fourth adjustments. They're just not there yet as coaches, and they're only going to get better. You hope.
Right.
Andy Reid kept getting better, and then he'd get worse, then get better and get worse. But I think Nagy takes a step forward in game planning, even if you're taking 5% of your defense and you're getting a little worse, and you take that same 5% and you improve the offense. The difference being who's calling the game, how it's being called, and how you're adjusting to actually getting punched in the mouth. Or if things are going well and not letting the gas off. Because that's what happened a bunch too, it felt like during the year.
I think we're going to miss Callahan more than we're going to miss Amos. Especially with signing Clinton Dix. I think we need to, unless we sign someone in the draft that's going to do the business. But I think all we're really missing now is deciding what we're going to do with Jordan Howard. signing a kicker that's going to be able to win us games in the clutch moment, and then probably just building young depth, because a lot of our players are young as shit too. We've got rid of a lot of crap. Cody Parkey's gone, Kevin White's gone, Deion Sims is gone. Like, a lot of this shit is gone. Oh, I would like to see us sign Pat O'Donnell back as well, our punter.
What about Zach Miller back?
He's 34. I don't know.
Zach Miller can't walk.
He had the leg injury?
That
He's the
knee
one who
injury.
ripped his knee out. Yeah.
Oh, that's bad. My bad.
Dude, that knee was ridiculous.
We only kept him on a contract out of, we got him, gave him like a gesture.
Dude,
contract.
I thought...
Good.
Go ahead. No. I was about to stray.
No, I was just thinking. I think his knee's still at Soldier Field.
They just,
I think it is.
It's part of the white that they're using on the field now.
I think it is.
Okay.
Part of the chalk. All right, let's cover Carolina. This is Nasta's team, and he sounds like he's from Carolina, I think. Let's look at signed, or do you want to look at relinquished?
Signed.
Let's do signed. No, let's do relinquished, and I want to hear Nasta send off all these bums. Thomas Davis.
I will say this. I like Thomas Davis. 3 ACLs. And, I mean, Walter Payton, Man of the Year. First round pick for the Panthers out of Georgia. Love the guy. Classic. He's great in the community. But he needed to come down to reality. If you watch the Panthers like I have this past year, there's a couple times that he got burnt majorly. It's hard being 36 years old going up against a 23-year-old wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless. Now, one thing I will say, I'm glad that another team signed him.
I can't believe he got a 2-year deal at that.
Yeah, and guaranteed.
It's gotta be
At the signing, he got $5.25 million.
I think it's similar to the Frank Gore thing, right? You add depth. You
And
have
you
him
al-
on the field for
yeah.
like big possessions, but also you're hoping that dude rubs off on a young dude.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, I will say this. One thing I really like about this, even though he's not a Panther, fine, is that he didn't sign with Atlanta. He's from Georgia or from the Saints. So he went out west, playing the AFC.
Stayed away from him. You know, Kenjon Barner just signed with the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm not big on him. I never really liked him. And Devin Funchess, I really didn't give a crap. I mean, he was the biggest. And look, they didn't give him guarantee money. He got a 1-year, $10 million deal.
And
He's a strange signing.
Dude, he's weird, but Indianapolis is gonna. I think Indianapolis is gonna fucking crush it with him. I think if that dude stays healthy, Luck already has like 5 tight ends, and Funchess is basically a tight end.
Yeah.
And he's it's gonna be. I'm extremely excited to see him in Indianapolis.
Oh, would I think he flourishes? Yes, but I don't. It doesn't bother me.
Because he finally has a quarterback now.
Yeah.
You got to be happy with the center signing though.
I like this. Our biggest need was offensive line. We got a center from Denver, Matt.
And you re-signed Darryl.
And we re-signed Darryl Williams on a cheap deal, a 27. Now, he did blow out his knee in the game 1, so he has almost a whole year of rehabilitation. But if he stays healthy, dude, that is a friggin' steal. He was a Pro Bowl the year before. He just got injured, and so he stayed with the Panthers, signed that 1-year, $7 million deal.
Yeah, I think it's really, really kind of too early to say win or loss for both Chicago or Carolina at this point. But both of them aren't. Well, Chicago's made more moves.
We
they're both
offloaded a
doing
lot of
right.
shit.
Yeah, that's
And we've signed a lot of depth, which is
that's
what we
the
need.
underrated part of free agency, right? Is shaking loose the garbage.
Crap. Yeah.
And I know that we've got a lot of Dallas listeners, so I'm going to cover Dallas a little bit. Even though, admittedly,
Didn't do much.
They haven't done much yet, but in general, I don't follow the NFL as close as I had in the past, and I'm trying to get back to it, guys. So forgive me. Cole Beasley gone.
That's good.
Also known as Bees in the Trap. Dude would catch most of everything, but he couldn't stay healthy all of last year. That hurts, if only because we also brought Taven Austin back, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then we lost Damian Wilson. I'm cool with that. But honestly, our linebackers are always and forever going to be like an injury issue as long as Sean Lee's back there. We signed, only re-signed guys. Taven Austin's back. Alawale's back, which who cares? He's a fullback. And then Cameron Fleming's back, pretty good backup. and depth, and I think he saw some playing time last year too because we had an offensive line that was kind of if and whatever. But Dallas hasn't done shit. Let's see how much they spent. They're 28th in the league in spending right now in free agency, which is crazy. And because I know he's going to listen, is Jeff even a Lions fan? He's a Steelers fan, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a Steelers.
Let's talk about the Steelers real quick because we talked about Bryant.
Well, we already talked about Steelers, really. They're just going to be shit.
Or Brown, I mean, not Bryant. So, Le'Veon Bell, and you know what? I'm actually going to talk about Brown too in this. It's really funny to me how every very good skill player, and this isn't to bait a conversation about race, but every star black position player gets painted the same way when they want to get out of a team. And NASA can concur with this, I believe, but also, Josh, you've only been following for a little bit, but it's been a story that's told constantly. Big Ben Roethlisberger is one of the worst leaders of like any football team by every account I've heard.
Oh.
And he was calling out Brown. He shit all over Bell when he wanted more money. And meanwhile, put his teams or closed his team's window by continuing to play when he was already considering retirement because he doubted he could still do it. But it's everybody else's fault. It's never his fault.
I'm sure it wasn't his fault too when he gave that girl roofies in the bar in South Carolina.
Exactly. Yeah. She tripped into the margarita.
She tripped into the bathroom too.
I was trying to help her up, and I had my pants down. I didn't understand.
Rape is good.
It's Tomlin. I think is a pretty okay coach. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's bad.
I don't think he won. He won because of Bill Carroll's team.
Him and Roethlisberger are going to end up going down in flames together.
Yeah, fuck.
And I cannot tell you how happy I am to see how bad the Steelers are going to be soon.
I can't.
Because I think it's coming real soon, and they're going to get.
It might be this year.
Fucking awful, and I cannot wait for it. Any other points before we wrap it up, guys?
I got nothing.
I think I got all the Twitter questions. There was one that we missed last week, 2 weeks ago when we recorded. It was about the AAF. I asked for him. I didn't get it till 30 minutes after we started recording, and I didn't even see it. And it was from Kyle in Texas. He asked for the thought about Johnny Manziel in the AAF. Do you want to touch on it for 2 minutes?
I think it would be.
I think there's a lot of teams that could use him.
Yeah.
And it would be a good restart for him if he really wanted to carry on making it somewhere
I
else.
think it'd be good for Johnny. I think he'd be good for the league, especially considering his talent and the fact that no offensive line can be trusted aside from like 3 in the entire league. And he's an immediate upgrade, at least from a fun perspective, over 5 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, 100%.
Across all things. That's all we got, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This was issue 14. I don't know if I let off with that. It doesn't matter. We lost count. But we're almost at 15, which will come at you in 2 weeks. Hit us up at @SportsTrebuchet on Twitter, SportsTrebuchetPod at Gmail, SportsTrebuchet.com. I don't know if I have anything else. Oh, if our buddy Kyle went to Mexico, and he can sincerely, I hope he has it's a delayed honeymoon. I hope he has a good time.
Yes, I hope he does too.
I'm going to make a call here. I think they get pregnant in Mexico.
Oh,
I knew you were going to say that.
Who?
I think they get...
Kyle?
Kyle's not going to get
You don't think Kyle?
That's illegal.
You know what? I have a feeling, no shit, in 2 months or a month from now, he's going to tell us that he's having a baby, and they've been conceived in Mexico.
He's probably not going to listen to this.
Shocked.
He's not
going
to...
They're going to make an effort, I reckon.
They're going to name him Cancun. It'll be perfect. Which is where he's staying. Look him up, guys.
I just told Kyle one thing, and Kyle, hope you're listening when you're on this flight tomorrow. You better have 2 drinks in your hand at all times. You're an all-inclusive resort.
Without the ice. No ice.
Yeah, listen, you better drink.
Sick.
I don't care. I hope you have fun, bro.
Turning it off.
Okay.